Hi everybody, I'm Bree the Plant Lady, checking in with a post-Hurricane Helene late September garden tour. We were super fortunate here in the Piedmont region of North Carolina. I live in Fuquay-Varina, to really only experience a lot of rain. I mean, there was some wind, but nothing that was really that devastating. However, now seeing some of the images that are coming out of the North Carolina mountains, it's just greater devastation than I could have ever imagined. I'm feeling very grateful that my area wasn't as impacted, and I'm keeping my eyes peeled for ways that we can help in some way. Obviously, it's just happened, but I'm gonna overlay some images that I found on Facebook. Like Chimney Rock downtown was completely washed away. Highway 40 in Asheville actually had the semi-trucks floating down the street. Bridges are destroyed. My favorite garden in the mountains, the bridge, the flowering bridge, has washed away completely. So there's a huge loss. But without further ado, let me take you around my gardens, which are now just enjoying the extra moisture, followed by beautiful, clear Carolina blue skies. It's still pretty warm, and actually have lots of great updates to share because my great arborists were here the day before the hurricane hit, which was great timing. And well, all my trees look really awesome. So let me go ahead and turn this camera around. Well, I started here intentionally because I wanted to show you how much better the view looks now that that sick oak tree has been removed. And you see how substantial the native sassafras grove is that's, planted itself here. So I haven't missed that oak tree one bit. And it's really opened the space up, and it's changed the view so much. I really appreciate it. Also had them do some major pruning to this Matsubara red Prunus mume, and now you can see that the trachycarpus has been released, and it's really looking grand and amazing. I additionally had them take out the sick coral bark maple was planted here, and you can see I didn't have them stump grind. I'm actually just gonna paint this with stump killer, let it slowly rot in place instead of disturbing all of the other plants around it. And by removing that, it's really opened up the space so this magnolia can have the light that it needs to be able to really fill out. So having Snell visit is always something that brings me an incredible amount of joy. They are so talented and conscientious and easy to work with. And they just make such a big difference in my garden. And speaking of having trees removed, I went ahead and had them cut out the Taiwanese maple that was up here, taking up unnecessary space, being crowded, of course, by the live oak. So you don't miss it at all. It's really funny. It's really funny how that works. You could see the stump right there. It definitely opens up the space for this naturally seeded echinacea patch with this great stand of hedychium. They also did a great job limbing up and cleaning up my Prunus mumes out here. So they limbed up this bridal veil. It looks so much better. You can actually get under it. Of course, they removed entirely that oak, and I had debated on whether they should just leave it partway up. And we all decided in the end, I can put a post here if I want to keep the hammock here. I might just put the hammock somewhere else entirely. But it was the better choice to go ahead and remove that oak entirely. Now, I just want to show you here, we have a lot of washout from the hurricane. You can see, the roots of the trees surfacing here. Having this with a little more light, we might be able to get some grass to establish here, which would be helpful to cover up some of these roots. But it's really made a remarkable difference, and especially now that the wave is completely replanted with 200 cool season veggies. I'm hopeful that for the first time this year, the wave will actually look like something I'm proud of. I did post a video of the process, but you can see I put in Swiss chard, cabbage, lettuce, different varieties of kale. There's also cauliflower and broccoli, and well, a nice mixture of things all throughout here. So I'm looking forward to being able to watch this grow out for the fall season. And again, we really did not sustain any significant damage. The gardens actually look great. You know, I woke up today thinking how grateful I was that last weekend was open garden. But the garden still looks beautiful. I mean, we've definitely had hurricanes where afterward everything was so wind whipped that you just wanted to cut everything down and start fresh. But today, not the case here in the Piedmont region. This front shrub border is looking good. Really having the Lespedeza blooming right now makes a big difference, and pollinators love it. I never did get around to doing any of the pruning and weeding of this bed, and to be honest, I don't really care. The point of a shrub border is that you don't have to interact in it a lot, and now I'm living that reality. I wanted to walk over here so I could show you the dramatic view of the pink muley grass, which has really started to go into flower. It's nearly impossible to photograph, at least in this context, but you can see when the light is shining through it how spectacular it is. And the muley grass is really shining through on these native borders as well. And I'm so glad I have a mix of both the pink muley, Muhlenbergia capillaris, I think. There was some discussion about its speciation. And then also the white cloud Muhlenbergia, which is more robust. It's usually a bit later to flower, holds up better in the winter season. It doesn't collapse. You can see those are really just starting to put on their show. And the asters have been looking great. The Rudbeckias are just about finished, but I really like their seed heads, and I really am pleased with the front of this border with the asters, the pink muley, and the not so native Verbena bonariensis. Having all this pink and purple really does make the bed look like it was put here on purpose and didn't just happen by accident. And here in the east meets west borders, you can see again more muley grass coming in. It's the white cloud versus the pink. The Scutellaria has reset and dropped a million seeds. I never did get around to collecting the seed, but I really like the texture of this seed head. You know, not every seed head is attractive, but really like the Scutellaria and Cana. And the deer are so funny. They just love sweet potatoes, so they eat the sweet potato vine. They absolutely don't touch the lantana. They don't touch the coleus. They also love the apples, and they keep on eating the apples. So, yeah, my theory of putting stingy plants together doesn't always work, and this is a perfect instance where it's not really being that effective, but it's okay. The golden panther wants to be part of the tour. Are you digging? And this border over here, not much to report, but the addition of the mangaves in pots, I think looks really nice and kind of just gives it a little more purpose, like someone's maintaining this intentionally. Half the time in gardening, you're just trying to make it look like you were paying attention. And then the south-facing border, it's just exceeded all my expectations. I like bold, big, tropical, gaudy. I can't help myself. And I got all of that. All of those boxes have been checked. And the color scheme completely matches. And you can see that Of course, you know, the bat-faced kufia has been blooming all summer, but now the candy corn kufia is just starting to put on its flowers. And when this is in full bloom, it's completely spectacular. And the serrano peppers are growing really well. Of course, because of the hurricane rain, we got fire ant mounds everywhere. Epic fire ant mounds. And I'm not really sure why this pepper has been chlorotic for the entire season, but I'm not really worried because it's setting a ton of fruit, and that is why I grow peppers. It is time for me to harvest the rice seed, and I will make a video showing it. It's not complicated at all. I don't have a dehuller, so I'm not going to be able to show you the process of efficiently extracting the seeds out of the hull. I typically am growing rice to collect it for the next season to grow and to package and offer for sale. So eating it isn't actually my prime focus, but if I can get my hands on a dehuller, which I would love to have, then I'll be able to show you the proper process for preparing the rice you grew to be able to be eaten. Stay tuned. And I'm thrilled to share that I have been harvesting and eating persimmons already, which I think is really remarkable. I don't think I've ever had persimmons this early in the season. And there's a ton of fruit on here, and it's all ripening relatively quickly. I think I'm gonna need to pull out a ladder to get up there where some of these fruits are ready. It is super delicious. This is Nikita's Gift. And then this is a weeping form that is not ripe yet, but certainly been a big talking point for all of my recent garden tours. And I gotta say, they've been in the ground probably 5 years. This is the first year they're really being impressive, and I am impressed. Well, everybody, I hope you'll tune in tomorrow to see the rest of the gardens that I have growing here in Fuquay-Varina, North Carolina. And as always, thanks so much for watching. Happy gardening.